Cancer, welcome to your Intimate Tarot reading. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to know why I read Intimate Tarot, specifically sexual energy, it will be outlined for you in the description box. That's, of course, Cinnamon. She's playing with her toy in the background. Standard puppy noises, okay? You'll just have to excuse it. All right, so if you're that person who is sensitive around the subjects of Intimate Tarot, sexual energy, sexual description, so on and so forth, this is not the reading type for you. Feel free to pass it up. No offense taken, none whatsoever. I don't want you to watch anything that comes into conflict with who you are, what you're about, because you will take nothing from it, except perhaps to be upset with yourself or with me, and I don't want that. Okay, it defeats the purpose. All tarot, like all YouTube, is at will, free will. You do not have to watch, more so if it's making you upset, so don't. Okay, I understand this is not everyone's cup of tea. It's different, and that's why we're here, though, is to understand those differences. And that's true for any and all energy types. They're all real, they're all valid, we all experience them. Okay? And the more we understand ourselves, so much the better. Sexual energy, I find, tends to be the most misunderstood, downplayed, just not well received. And there's a price to that. We act like it's not important, we get the results we get. Everybody has different values when it comes to sexual energy, you know? And that's the idea. We want to understand how it affects us, thus stands to reason how it affects our relationships. That's it. That's all. So, take it resonates, leave it does not, reverse those energies as you see fit. These are general collective readings, not one-to-one private, which is to say they may or may not resonate. So take what resonates, leave it does not. Yeah? And if it doesn't resonate at all, this is perfectly normal, you know, check your other placements. Okay. I know. What's going on? My regular Cancer crew, I know you know what's up. These are the attentions that must be paid, guys, you know? What's going on? Show me that Cancerian sexual energy. Show me that Cancerian sexual energy. Show me Cancer, please. Oh. Lots of thoughts here. Got a couple of thoughts here. Dreams, freedom, interesting. Protection. Man. We want to protect our dreams, but we don't have the freedom. We feel we don't have the freedom. There's something here that we still hold on to energetically because it represents part of our dreams, which is part of ourselves. There's something here that you very strongly desire sexually and emotionally. The water's here as well. And it's part of your dreams, and you want to protect that dream. You want to keep it. You want to keep it and hold it true to you, you know. But there's a freedom component involved here. Should I let this dream go? Or do I free myself in order to pursue it? I can't tell which way you're leaning. That's a lot. That's a lot. I understand. There's something in your dream, your fantasy, and also your waking fantasy that you wish to protect. In other words, you hold it dear to you, sexually otherwise. As far as I can tell, it is dream-based or fantasy-based, but it's real enough to you that you feel that you want to protect it, hold on to it. In other words, it's a dream you're not ready to relinquish. But you can't help but wonder, number 32, okay, freedom, should I let that vision go? Should I let the idea of it go? Or do I need to part ways and free myself in order to pursue my dreams? Otherwise, what's the point of holding on to them? That's an excellent point. All right. It's going to be like that today, huh? A lot going on. And when is that not true with Cancer, though? What's going on, please? Show me that. Show me that Cancerian sexual energy. Come on now. Show me that Cancerian sexual energy. That protection's always a tricky card because part of you wants to protect that dream and make it yours. So sometimes it feels a little possessive, you know. But it also represents a holding on energy too. Am I right to hold on to this dream? Do I need to part ways with it? Or can I still make it come true? Show me that Cancerian sexual energy. Show me that Cancerian sexual energy. Show me that Cancerian sexual energy, please. Show me that Cancerian sexual energy, please. Tower. Oh my. Oh my, the devil. So some of you, it feels like a really strong thing indeed. Okay, we'll get to that. Don't let that freak you out. And it's like, oh my God, what is that, Christina? What is all? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Okay? The Tower of the Devil. Not gonna lie, that's pretty. That's a punch. Ooh, that's a punch. Oh yeah, that's a punch. The Fool. The Chariot. Oh! God, somebody's reflecting directly onto you. They'd be like, I would love to be open to you, sexually or otherwise. But the Cancer could be connecting to fellow Cancer. They could have some interesting Cancer placements, or that's the reflection of their energy towards you, that they would love to be open towards you. Okay. Bit of a difference here. Oh my. There's the power of change. Like I said, I know protection is a tricky concept. I know it looks super simple in there, but it represents a little bit of, like I said, that Four of Pentacles, holding on, not letting go. I'm protective of it. It's mine. Is it really, though? You know, it represents a certain level of territory and pride. It represents a certain level of, this is mine, I have to protect it, I'm not done with it. And then, you know, depending on all those feelings and factors, it can go into a devil space, sure. But it's not a judgment, guys. It's not about judgment. It's about trying to understand the Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Pentacles, the Lovers, in time. In time, and it's beautiful. You may not see it that way. It might seem really weird, distant, and impossible, but in time, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Pentacles, we would love to make an offer to a lover, or have a lover make an offer to us, but the thing is, it's real. Ace of Pentacles is really real. Super tangible. So this is either a brand new connection that you hope for in time, that's strong as hell, or it's a renewal. You know, the aces, guys, they're not just new, they can represent renew. New is in that word, renew. It depends. I need to see. I have to clarify, but if that's true, may that Wheel of Fortune turn in your favor. Obstacles. A relationship is the obstacle. Well, like I said, for some of you the idea is, do I have to let something go in order to obtain my dream? For some of you, I said that for a reason. Freedom. You see here, we're cutting the picture, cutting the cords. Someone's leaving in the background. So it's either A, you're trying to free yourself from holding on to this fantasy, or free yourself from something else in order to acquire and truly protect your dream and make it real. Outcome is the Queen of Cups. Heart space. Okay. Six majors, so no big deal. No big deal. it's a 9-card draw. Six majors. Okay. Wait, are we starting with one? No, we're gonna start with red. Okay. All right, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Show me that Tower and the Devil, please. Yeah, that's a strong feeling, or a strong fear that requires confrontation. Let's see that Tower and the Devil. Show me that Tower and the Devil, please. 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 Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, so that's what it is. Oh, that is intense, isn't it? Yes, Knight of Pentacles, as slow as it may, the more time passes, the stronger and stronger this feeling becomes, that you, if you want that Ace of Wands, if you want that beginning, be it new or renewed, doesn't matter, I don't care, I'm not there yet anyway, so I can't see it, it's too early to call. You have to be a Nine of Pentacles, you have to be on your own, you have to be an individual. It's fearful then for you to break up a particular dynamic which automatically explains that Four of Wands and the obstacles. In other words, you'd have to be willing to change, and it's fearful. It's a fearful thing. You say it's a fearful thing. It's scary. It's very scary. Some of you are terrified of change. It's okay. It's normal. It is exceedingly normal. Human beings aren't very good with change, which is ironic because the reason why we've successfully evolved as we have is because of our ability to adapt and change, and not just at a genetic level. The willingness to think different and to be different and to feel different often really determines how successful a person is. Not our willingness to be static. Anybody can be static. Kind of depends. I don't know. Your fear is high, but then so too is your drive. It's in equal measure as far as I can tell. Your motivation to be a singular individual is just as high as the fear that binds you currently. The Tower, all this stuff with the devil, guys, it's so strong. I know it's hitting you hard now. It was always kind of headed in this direction, though, wasn't it, with the Knight of Pentacles? Some beautiful energy right there. As an individual, being on your own, in the position to pursue that new or renewal energy. It requires overcoming some really intense obstacles within the self, and then also what's actually in your external world. Everything begins with the self. You have to deal with the change on your internal level first before you're equipped to deal with that. It's pretty radical, guys. We're afraid to change, and yet the desire remains to do that so you can be your own man or your own woman. Freedom. It's a proposal. We're currently undergoing this tower and confronting these devils and all this other bullshit, and it probably feels 1,000 times too huge, right? It sits in your chest, it sits in your heart, it sits in your mind, weighs on your back, all that shit. Alright, let's jump on over here. The Chariot or the Fool. Even if this person has no Cancer placements, and even if they're not reflecting on you, I can tell that when they open up, they mean it. Like, so the Chariot is our most honest conviction. Okay, from the heart. This person, when they say they do open up and they take a risk, they mean it. That's all I have from them. So it's like, when I open up and take a risk, I mean it. I don't do nothing unless I know I mean it. That they're very sincere about that. So they might be the fool. They might sometimes be foolish, but by God, they mean it when they try. They're like, hey, when I take a risk, I take a risk. And that's because I know my movement. I know me. I know what I want to open up towards. So let's take a closer look at them. Let's take a look at this person's energy, please. They have a loyal sexual energy, by the way. So the thing is with the Fool, not being foolish, but also says I'm committed to the loyalty here. Loyal to the experience, the protection of it. Otherwise, it's not sacred and it's not beautiful. So they have a very sincere movement attached to them. Swiftness, emotional and sexual loyalty here. In other words, when they take a risk, and they reflect on you, I believe it's pointed at you. So let's take a look. Let's take a closer look and let's see if they're worth all that. Okay, let's take a look. See. It's kind of like, are you who you say you are? Let's take a look. Oh, Seven of Swords, the Hanged Man, the Two of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. You know. Just want to make sure she doesn't have anything she's not supposed to. Alright, Seven of Swords, the Hermit, the Two of Pentacles. Well, that's interesting. Dang. All I really got from that is that they say they try not to think about you anymore. Hey, what are you doing? No. No. What, you don't agree with my interpretation? What's that about? Since when do you ever argue with Mommy? Hmm? You don't agree with my interpretation all of a sudden? Says who? No, I don't know. That was a really interesting emphasis on this person. They say that thank you for that confirmation, I suppose, honey. I appreciate it. Oh, they try not to think about you. Their emotional and sexual energy would blast right open towards you. And then on the inside, they say, I try not to think about you. On any of it. The feelings or the sex or anything in there. Spiritual energy is in there too. They said it was too confusing. I can kind of see why. That's a huge blast towards you. And then they're like, but I can't think about any of it. It's too confusing. I don't know what to do with all this energy towards you anyway. So I try not to think about you. If you're in something, it would stand to reason. Because I don't know if you've ever experienced anything that large before where it's like, I have all this feeling and energy towards you and I can't do shit with it. So what do? Try not to think about the other person. Literally, try not to think about you. They try to get out of thinking about you, and there's a certain sense of helplessness here, of futility, that there's nothing that they can do. So they try not to think about the confusion. They try not to think of the helplessness and I don't know what to do. And reality, mentally, emotionally, they don't know what to do. On the outside, their energy is so beautiful and it's bold and it blasts towards you. But on the inside, I see a full retraction. It's like, I can't afford to think about this person. I don't have anything I can put in towards them. Realistically, with the Two of Pentacles, I don't even know where to begin. It's like, again, it's like being dressed up and having nowhere to go. Except they're dressed up for you. And they have no way to go out on a date with you. You see what I'm saying? That's what energy's like. It's massive energy potential towards you and it has nowhere to go. So it fizzles out, it's quiet, it doesn't do anything. And it hasn't. I can't even tell that you two are actually connected in the real world because all that activity, as far as I can tell, has been suspended. This person acknowledges it. They also don't like to think about it. And you're thinking about, if I want to be on my own, I have to make drastic changes, and that scares the shit out of you. It's fair. But what you could turn into is also beautiful. There's something in here of a specific, what is this? Something to do with yoga? I'm not quite sure what that is. You or them? I don't think it's naked yoga. I don't think it's that. It just, yeah. It's something to do with flexibility of body. It suggests that somebody here is very comfortable with their physical form. Somebody perhaps exercises a great deal, or they're really into yoga. Something to do with flexibility. Somebody finds that impressive. The idea of it is pleasing. Cinnamon is kicking off. Do you hear that? She's kicking off. Now I know what she's doing. She's working on a toy. When she's on a toy, she treats it like business. Do you hear that? Like, to her, you know, business is good. Like, when she works on them toys, she gets into it. She gets pissed off. She's like, it's hilarious and it's cute and it's funny and it makes me laugh. So anyway, that's the background noise. That's what that is. Don't worry about that. All right. Yeah, no, I mean, there's something here about the flexibility. We admire this. Somebody admires this. It's very attractive. The flexibility, or how tall they are. Something in there between it. It's like that person's form is reassuring because we know how strong they are or how sturdy they are, and that's very appealing for some reason. It's like they're full size. I don't know. Why? What did I just say? Because something about their full size is something about their full form that gives us comfort, or the idea of it sexually gives us comfort. That's a full size person. I don't know what that means. Like, they're super tall, or they're super strong, or they're sturdy. Or I don't know what that is, but we like that. We like the idea of it. Like, they're a whole person that we could literally wrap our whole bodies around. Like, yeah, they could handle things. Like, you see, you see what I'm saying? I don't quite know how to put it. Like, that's a proper sized person. There's something about that. I don't know. That hit me so funny. I don't know. Yeah, I understand because I practiced yoga for years. So with that does come a certain level of competence. I understand that. But we're attracted to the form. It's like they're a proper full-size person. What is that? I don't know. It's either them towards you, or that's how you reflect upon them. But that sexual energy aside that I kind of picked up on, man, I know. It's like all this towards you. Maybe not. Let's not think about it. You know? Okay. Is there, between the two of you, is there anything else in there, please, that we should be made aware of? Anything else, please, between these two? Four of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the Four of Cups. Oh. Somebody here individually, don't get me wrong, you're both healing in some kind of feeling that you have towards each other. Their feelings are their feelings, your feelings are your feelings. But one person here, first of all, let's get this out of the way. Somebody still kind of masturbates the other person from an emotional point of view. Understanding that somebody had feelings for us, we actually pleasure ourselves to this because it feels really good. So that tells me this is self-pleasure that comes from a place of feeling. In other words, it's not the idea of them that's so much as sexy as the emotional attraction. So that tells me, this automatically tells me that the sexual energy between these two folks come from the space of the heart and not just the loins. Big difference there. So that's always helpful to know, because sexual attraction is sexual attraction. If that's all there is to it, there's no need to put all this thought or fuss into it, you know. So I can tell that we still kind of pleasure ourselves to the other person, but it's from an emotional space. Somebody's heart space is very attractive. The vulnerability is what makes us aroused for somebody here. It's either you or them. But I will say this. That aside, someone's growing into their feelings and realizing that they were on the same page, but it's taken rest, quiet rest. It has not been the easiest thing to understand. It was a slowly developed feeling for at least one person here. And there's a big clue there about our sexual attraction too. Like I said, if it's coming from the loins, it's pretty easy to understand that, identify it, but if it lingers, okay. If the quality of our arousal lingers like that, and when we think about them privately, and we realize we're attracted to the emotion behind it and not just the sexy sexiness of it, it kind of tells you the origin story of the attraction, and if it's viable, if it's worth all this frustration and thought, if that person's even worth the masturbatory effort. You see what I'm saying? You know? Because honestly, masturbation doesn't take much effort. A little bit of imagination, a little bit of visual aid, or for some people, they don't even do that. They just jump on into it. So the fact that this person lingers in our personal arousal systems and when we're on our own kind of tells you, right, where its origin is. It's not just the genitals. No, it's... I'm seeing somebody, as they rest on these subjects, they grow into their heart space a little bit more. The vulnerability... and that sense of emotional attachment is coming through and overriding any sort of sense of, oh, perhaps we're not on the same page. That's not true. There's a stronger and stronger recognition of feeling that Cinnamon, she doesn't know how big she is. Bless her, she has no idea how big she is. There's a stronger recognition here of feeling being equal. But that's taken rest, it's taken time, it's taken healing. Understanding the heart, how it flows, and how it possibly flowed both ways. And perhaps it always did. That's it, that's what's between you two. At the emotional level, a little bit of sex in there, nothing crazy. Again, private time. That person had to pull their hand back many times. To start something. They had to pull their hand back several times. There might have been a couple times where they were like, kept it to themselves. But they had moments where they probably knew, it looks like to me, a light touch could go a long way. But they couldn't follow through with the action. That's good. Given the situation, that's probably good. So, you know, kind of shows you, or it shows the situation, respect. I know I'm not supposed to. Something like that. like I said, their kind of open, blasting energy towards you is quite real. But they wouldn't follow through with it. I could tell that they were tempted, but they didn't. Okay? So that means they respect you and that they loved you. You know, when you love somebody, and you know you're not supposed to cross that line. It's respect. You don't. You just don't. You know. So they didn't cross the line, and I think given half the chance, they would have done more than a light touch on it. I have the feeling this person's very open with their energy. They're very honest about it. You know? Alright, let's keep cracking. Show me that Wheel of Fortune, please. Show me that Wheel of Fortune. Show me that Wheel of Fortune. Show me that Wheel of Fortune, please. Show me that Wheel of Fortune. Time passing. Ace of Pentacles, the Lovers, but then I hate seeing that Four of Wands and the obstacles. I really do. I hate that. I don't know why it's there, but it is. Let's take a look. The Six of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Page of Pentacles. We're still confused. It is a soul bond. It's a soulmate connection. I'm sure it is. The frequency being what it is. The intensity being what it is. It's got it provoking in us thoughts that we're terrified of. It's got us feeling feelings we weren't expected or prepared to feel. You know, it's got us masturbating to them, and it's like we can't let it go, you know, and they're like, oh boy, I would have if I could have. I try not to think about it. And then we got the Wheel of Fortune. In time, things are passing. We're still no wiser for where about this particular soul bond and what to do with it specifically with the Page of Pentacles. But you do recognize the connection is here. They're saying it took you a minute to understand this. It was a Six of Cups. So that's a soul bond, soul tribe, soulmate type situation where you have that inexplicable feeling between you and someone else that's hard to define, but it's strong. It's stronger than most of your, say, day-to-day standard connections, in that for some reason you just seem to understand each other with very little effort. It implies an undertone or undercurrent of feeling that is not easily, like I said, understood, but you have shared memories and shared feelings that just the two of you would understand. They wouldn't make sense to anyone else. They're not supposed to. Okay? So you recognize over time, and it took you a minute to see it. Perhaps it was easier for you to not see them as a soulmate or a soul tribe, or part of your soul tribe, I should say, at their opening. Okay? But it's with you now. Okay? So you see the connection and rather you feel it for what it is. But you don't know what to do with it in terms of realistic energy. Never mind sexual energy. Okay? Okay, let's see that Ace of Pentacles. Let's keep cracking. Let's see that Ace of Pentacles. I need to, I'm not in a space where I can give you advice yet. I need to see more about that conflict. Okay. Let's see that Ace of Pentacles, please. Let's see that Ace of Pentacles. The King of Cups, the King of Wands, the Six of Pentacles. Wow, you both desire. I got two kings here of equal measure. Okay. King of Cups and the King of Wands and Six of Pentacles. There is a mutual agreement, I believe, at some point after the confusing state to meet on common ground. That's coming through quite strong. Seeing as how we just got done acknowledging I don't know what to give this soul connection, so it's looking like that somehow, some way gets resolved. I don't know why. But it has to do with something to do where perhaps you two reconnect over coin. Now that's interesting. Reconnecting over coin, what does that mean? Anything between a work opportunity to project work to group work, I don't know, but coin is involved, it looks like, and you two have a shared mutual interest over this. It's looking heavily like an opportunity where it's profitable on both sides, and this is perhaps where you two connect. Okay, but you're both in your stand-up energies when you do so. Two kings, both bearing of certain levels of responsibility and duty and obligation. So I got two high-functioning selves here meeting over common ground, over what looks like a shared opportunity. So that's interesting. This might bring you two together in future. It's looking quite solid. I mean, very solid. But the idea is that you both benefit. And it's some sort of opportunity, like I said, where there's a little bit more profit on each side. So you two seem to agree to terms on this. This is interesting. This is really interesting. All right, let's see that Lovers then. So as far as I can tell, you're keeping it neutral. Neither emotions nor sex is involved, but the highest forms that you both take are present and accounted for. So that tells me you're both taking this seriously. It's coming across heavily as mutual respect for what the other person can do. Okay, what's up? All right, that was unexpected. That was unexpected. We went from, I don't know how to approach this soul bond to, hey, we're working together. We're both going to benefit from this. It's great. Somewhere between that Wheel of Fortune and Ace of Pentacles, something happened. Something happened. A plan was formed. Oh my. Let's see that Lovers, please. Some of the Lovers, some of the Lovers, some of the Lovers. Now, let's see if you two keep it. I mean, it is platonic, technically. Yes. Let's see that Lovers, please. Some of the Lovers, some of the Lovers, some of the Lovers. There. All I know, honey, is that there's an opportunity to work together. And you both benefit by bringing your mutual powers together. Okay, let's see that Lovers, the Three of Wands, the Three of Swords, the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, it's almost like you two are finding a reason to work together in reality or 3D, because the energy between you stands, but it's not resolved. So the Lovers, it's a strong connection. It has been and it will be, continue to be, between the two of you, the Four of Pentacles, Three of Wands, the Three of Swords. That longing to reunite under the Lovers' energy is strong. But as far as I can tell, you two are connecting platonically in the real world for what looks like work reasons. Okay, project reasons, I don't know. I just know it's profitable. You both seem to benefit. So that question of how do I invest in the soul bond, somehow or another that gets worked out. The question is answered. I do see you two meeting platonically. I can't stress that enough in the 3D. But it's a high functioning capacity on both sides. You're your best self, they're their best self. You two actually bring a lot to the table. You work together very well. But you must know that. You must know that. You know? You're both showing me high levels of autonomy. And I just know profit is gained. That's quite the twist. It's coming across heavily for spring. I did see a succession here, did I not? 4, 5, 6. But when I get to the more intimate side between you two, they stay as it has been, longing. It's a longing that, as far as I can tell, is not brought together. Your lover self. Okay? There's more of that longing. You two still kind of hold on to the core energy that is the Lovers, but in reality, you stand up as individuals and put forward realistic effort on both sides for a mutual agreement. I don't know what the mutual agreement is. But you keep on keeping on, and you both will. Let's see that Four of Wands is in the obstacles, please. Show me that Four of Wands, please, is in the obstacles. Let's show that Four of Wands. Two of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles. See, it's still there. Yeah, whatever. This Cancer I'm looking at, you are not free to move about the cabin, but you think about it. That was your opening. It even scares you sometimes how much you think about it. Separating yourself from whatever it is that pre-exists. Like I said, you admit on your opening it would require radical change, and that scares the shit out of you. It does. I can see why you heavily contemplate here in the obstacles a relationship that is well-founded. Four of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles. That's looking like marriage. It's been together a long time, let's put it that way. You built up a lot of walls between or around you and someone else. The thing is, what confuses you about it is why you don't feel much for it. if you perceive a relationship as an obstacle in and of its own right, regardless of there being something else, and just to make that clear, that something else, powerful as it is platonic. Okay? You have an interesting story here today. It's not complete. It's nowhere near complete. But you are trying to figure it out. All right? Saw it on your opening. In your oracles. To understanding that you have thought about many times, more than thought about many times, being your own man and your own woman again, so you can pursue whatever this is. You haven't. The question is, what do I do with this soulmate? Because I recognize them as a soulmate now. How can I invest in it? Somehow that gets resolved. You answer that question in some way I can't see. I just see the engagement of it after you figure it out. Because you two went from, okay, I got this, you got this. This is what I'm doing, that's what you're doing. The both of you went like that really quick. So, and it's great. You're both bringing A game to that particular table, and somebody's getting mad profit. It looks like you both benefit, but it's looking like we're either sharing resources or combining resources over a common goal. So whatever that is, you work it out. I don't know how to invest in this. So you do manage to get them back into your real world 3D. For what looks like realistic reasons of work, goal orientation, monetary reasons, I don't know. The connection remains as distraught at the intimate level. Sexual, emotional, spiritual, it still looks divided. But you're still holding on to it, Four of Pentacles, which means so are they. And you both have that sense of longing attached to you, okay? That you wish it could be more or deepened, okay? And the obstacles, that's a hell of an obstacle, honey. And I don't want anyone to view their relationship, specifically a marriage, as an obstacle. Never mind be confused in your feelings for it. You're like, it's founded, it's grounded, it's been around. For some of you, it's over 10 years or more. And you're saying, why do I not feel much for it anymore? What do I do with it? Like I said, for some of you, that sense of freedom was twofold. You know, either free yourself from the fantasy and stop holding on to it, or free yourself from something else so you can pursue it and protect it. Your dream. Let's see your Queen of Cups and the outcome. I often feel like I see some sort of variation like this for you often, and I don't know why. I would like to see more resolve for the Cancer collective. I often feel like there's another figure that pops up, and that's not every reading, but it happens often enough for me to notice, and that's saying something. Let's see that Queen of Cups. For those of you who don't know, I wipe in between readings, so I'm not necessarily trying to remember everybody's reading, nor can I. It's not possible at the rate or volume I produce these, but when I actually remember something, I remember it. And sometimes, yes, you can have this theme fairly regularly. Two of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Magician. You would like to manifest love. Not confused love, real. I don't have to question it, love. You're manifesting it. You are trying to pull this in. It's beautiful. It's coming from a beautiful heart space in you. Queen of Cups, that's your natural state of grace energy. Two of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Magician. You want love. You want the vulnerability of it. Everything that comes from the heart, and but not to find a point on it. It's there. You want that person's love. You associate them strongly with love or a strong heart space. Could be fellow water sign. The one that it's like, okay, I want a little bit more between you two before I move on. I got a little bit of you, I got a little bit of them. And I said, what do you two have in common? There's that Knight of Cups. And I said, somebody had to take time to understand that the feelings were more or less the same. It wasn't obvious at first. That was the last time we saw the Knight of Cups. You're manifesting that person's heart space, so it's more than just the sex, obviously. That will be there. The sexual energy is a given. The lovers, forget about it. That's why I don't need to focus on it. The lovers, again, is a given. Good sex, healthy sex, mutual, healthy sex has a common wellspring called love. Okay? That's when it's healing. That's when it's bonding. That's when it's mutual and it's beautiful. It's not forced. It's not coerced. It happens of its own accord because of two hearts want to express that love. That's what your sexual energy is towards this person, and theirs is towards you. I don't know that it was actually discussed. I'm actually not convinced of it. I think it's an undercurrent that pulls between you two. And when you do connect again in reality, it will be over a common cause. A realistic one that you can both wrap your head around and actually literally work towards or work through, tangibly speaking. You both have a lot to offer in this respect. I am seeing a combined force effort here, and it's powerful, it's beautiful, and it's actually quite simple. In real life, you two are stand-up individual characters, strong-willed to both of you. Both of you are quite good at knocking out them resources, planting things, getting things done, but also gaining profit. It's right there. The connection itself remains unfulfilled in all forms. You both feel that. But it's not necessarily spoken. There's a lot of unspoken feeling here. A lot. Unacted on feeling. A lot. I've discussed it. So, regardless of what's said for you, them, or this relationship that you perceive as an obstacle, which I'm going to push back and say you probably shouldn't have to see a relationship as an obstacle. Never mind question your feeling for it. I have to default to you at the very end. You either want to manifest more emotion from this relationship that's pre-existing and long-standing as far as I can tell, or you're manifesting the heart space from this. One has to win. That magician effort's got to go somewhere, guys. I see your heart deciding whether you consciously acknowledge it or not, because your heart is deciding. Maybe that's what your heart needs to do. Two of Wands, active decision making. Knight of Cups, how to express ourselves and the vulnerability of it. The fullness of heart, allowing ourselves to feel it, pull it in, receive it. You want to receive it, you want to express it. And here's the reality of something else in play, very much real. But you question its emotional viability. And availability, for that matter. You can't help but wonder, do I even feel the same way about this anymore? That's another reading. I wish I had more time to give this. I do. I do. All I know is that the love is showing up in our lives. On what point in your timeline in the past and where they will in the future, I don't know. I just see the Wheel of Fortune spinning and it answers the question for you about how you can reasonably invest in this again without being disrespectful to what's in play. Just to make that point clear. I know that your heart is trying to answer this argument. This is where it actually decides it wants to go. How you handle the reality of that, your relationship, the one that's solid and, well, it's established. I don't know that it's solid. It doesn't look emotionally stable, but it is established. I just see where your heart's going, and you're manifesting its direction. You know who you want to give your love to and who you want to receive it from. Okay? I'll have no quick answers for you today. That's not how life works. I mean, look at your opening. What about that? Did you think was going to be easy? You have a dream and you're protective of that dream. I know you don't want anyone else to... Why is that? Protection. Is 15 important to some of you? 15? Is that a number of relevance for some of you, 15? I don't know. Something about this caught my attention really hard. So I don't know. I'll give you a close-up of that. There's something about that. It's a very specific image that he's protective of. Like, that's mine. I'm looking at it and I know it's mine. A picture. Something like that. It's definitely the male gaze inactive, right? It's not protection. 15, this is technically, there's the Scorpio symbol, Scorpio 15. Any of these might be reference points for some of you. Why is that drawing my attention? There's something about the visual there. It's a very intimate picture that only he wants to be able to look at. It's evoking that protection, that's mine. We look at a picture a lot, or we covet a picture. It's part of the dream that we don't just get to look at it, that perhaps we get to claim it one day. So then freedom. What does freedom look like to you? I have an idea. There's the desired outcome. The fear of making it happen. You resolve this. No one else can do that for you. I know what your heart doesn't question in the future. Maybe it took you working with this person again to understand that. I don't know. I just know until it's decided, that sense of longing and separation from your lover at the spiritual level, emotional level, and sexual level will stay in place, regardless of the 3D compatibility. And that's why you perceive that relationship as an obstacle, because technically it is. So, sorry guys, I deal in truths. Okay, it's just easier. But again, if you're ever in a position of seeing your relationship or your marriage as an obstacle, what does that tell you? Especially if you don't know what your feelings are for it anymore. Your heart's clear about one subject, it's not clear about the other. Okay? We need to resolve these things. You have to figure it out, honey. You have to figure it out. Forgive and release. Okay, for some of you. Forgive and release the situation. One of them. Keep that. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if you believe in past lives. Some people do, some people don't. I'm not here to sell you on anything. I can tell you this, in terms of past life, I've been doing tarot often enough to recognize the soul bond as it keeps repeating itself. So, 6 of Cups, the Lovers. So typically when I say past lives, regardless if you believe in that, a soul connection knows a soul connection, regardless of the time. And that's what I'm seeing here. And keeping the door open to that particular connection. So, when I see you over here with the Wheel of Fortune at 6 of Cups, and you ask yourself, what do I do with it? How do I invest in it? Is that even an option? At some point you figure that out. Somebody does. I think it's you. We figure this out, and we find that opportunity to literally believe, work with this person in the 3D again. So it's been a minute since you've two interacted with each other in the real world. Possibly upwards to a year or more. And it's like peas and carrots. You two take off almost immediately. You do your thing, they do your, and you both profit. But the essence, my love, are you listening? The essence of the connection remains unfulfilled at its core. Because of this. So you tell me where your heart's desire is. The one where you have to go out of your way to find reasons to work with it so you can re-engage with it to figure out if it's the right one for you, or the one that you perceive as an obstacle. I'm invested in people understanding what they need to understand to do what they need to do so they can do what's in their best interest. That's my business. And sometimes it takes someone who is blunt, borderline perceived as rude to get people to see it. Okay? Back in my counseling days, I had 1 or 2 clients. People who absolutely loved to work with me because I would get on their ass and talk about the shit that they didn't want to hear, but they needed to hear. And then there's the other client that would run kicking and screaming. She's telling me everything I don't want to hear. Then why'd you show up at my door? Because you wanted someone to blow smoke up your ass, or because you wanted someone to tell you the truth? Okay. W, the Medina of Virgo, Dragon, Aries, Leo, Sag, you in reverse. That's you. Cancer, your shell is in reverse. You're not listening to yourself yet. The big heart, which is funny because it landed right there in the Lovers. Small feminine glasses. They female possibly in this scenario, if there is one, associated with the feminine glasses. It's a very particular look. For somebody, it's like a cat eye, or it's shiny. I don't know why I'm saying that. That's the first time I saw it that way. It's shiny. Shiny. It's got sparkles. Okay. J, F, courageous, the Medine of Aries. Friendly, the Medine of Aquarius. Okay. All right. Oh, gosh. I know it. It's complicated. See? Oh, it's just energy reads about sex. That's all it is. Doesn't mean anything. Sure it doesn't. Oh, in summer. Was there something about last summer? Coming summer, autumn, summer, autumn, Monday, April. That's what I was actually leaning towards. That I was seeing something spring in that activity with the Ace of Pentacles and the work project, and last summer might have been important, last autumn, but it's this upcoming spring that's interesting. Huh. At sunrise. Somebody's an early riser. Actually, I think the both of you are. I don't know why that hit me funny. But, yeah. At sunrise. April. Monday. Summer. Autumn. Man, those are vague. Those are vague. Those are a bunch of different timelines for everybody. Last fall, which we just exited, and last summer might have been important. Upcoming summer, it could be a flow-through, though. It could be a flow-through. There's that, too. Let's say spring, summer, autumn. There could be a flow-through there. I'm not sure. But I felt the heaviest energy start to lean in after the new year. Something about the spring energy, what's March, April, something like that, kicks off that pentacle energy. How do I bring this back into reality? Under that common cause construct. Okay. I hope this helps you. I don't know. Everything, that timeline's interesting. Everybody's on different timelines. I say it all the time, but it's so, the span is so odd. But nevertheless, I hope to help you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.